How to fix Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 black screen and not launching on Apple M-SILICON Macs. Welcome back to Tenabalta. Today, we're diving deep into a perplexing issue plaguing many Apple M-SILICON Mac users: the dreaded black screen and launch failure of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. While this title is a fan favorite, its native compatibility with Apple's ARM-based M-series processors is inherently challenged, often leading to immediate application termination or a persistent black window right after launch, as reported by users on devices like the M4 MacBook Air. This guide will meticulously outline advanced technical strategies and compatibility workarounds to navigate this specific architectural hurdle and get your virtual garage running smoothly on your modern Mac. Image 1. PNG left. A frustrated user staring at a MacBook Air showing a Steam error dialog. Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 launch failure. Black screen encountered. Application terminated unexpectedly. Error code: M-SILICON-COMPATIBILITY. Overlaying a black game window. Dark red tones. Right, a hopeful green screen with a faint game logo. A bright green tones. 4K, hyperrealistic professional lighting. Here are the advanced technical solutions to address Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 launch issues on Apple M-SILICON Macs. Understand M-SILICON architectural incompatibility. Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 was developed for x86-based processors, whether for Intel Macs or Windows PCs. Apple M-SILICON Macs utilize an ARM architecture, creating a fundamental incompatibility that prevents native execution without translation layers. This core difference is the root cause of black screens and launch failures on devices like the M4 MacBook Air. Image 2. PNG left. A confused user looking at a MacBook Air displaying system information for Apple M4 Silicon with a warning icon. Right, a user pointing to a diagram showing x86 emulation, bridging an ARM CPU to a game icon. Verify game system requirements on Steam. Always cross-reference the game's official Steam store page for its specific system requirements, paying close attention to the Mac OS section. CMS 2018 likely lists only Intel processors, explicitly indicating a lack of native M-SILICON support. Confirming this helps manage expectations regarding direct compatibility. Image 3. PNG left. A user scrolling through the Steam store page for CMS 2018, highlighting the processor Intel requirement with a red box. Leverage Rosetta 2 for Intel Mac apps. If Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 offered a native Intel Mac OS build, Rosetta 2 would automatically translate it for M-SILICON. However, its effectiveness for complex games or titles primarily designed for Windows, even through Steam, can be limited due to underlying dependencies not translating perfectly. Ensure Rosetta 2 is installed and active by attempting to launch any other Intel-only Mac application. Image 4. PNG left. A user sees a Mac OS pop-up. Rosetta is not installed. Would you like to install it while a black game window is in the background? Right, a happy user seeing Rosetta 2 active in a system report window with a partially loading game icon. Utilize Crossover for Windows game emulation. Crossover is a commercial wine-based compatibility layer specifically optimized for M-SILICON Macs, allowing Windows applications and games to run without a full Windows OS. Install Crossover. Create a new bottle for Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 and install Steam and the game within that environment. This often provides the most direct and performant solution for Windows-only games on Mac OS. Image 5. PNG left. A frustrated user looking at a crossover installation failed message with a blank game icon. Right, a user successfully installing Steam inside a Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 crossover bottle. Employ Parallels Desktop for Windows ARM virtualization. For a more robust solution, consider running a full Windows 11 ARM virtual machine using Parallels Desktop. Within this virtualized Windows environment, install Steam and CMS 2018. Windows' built-in x86 emulation layer will then handle the game. Be aware that this involves double emulation. Windows ARM emulating x86, running on macOS ARM, which can significantly impact performance. Image 6. PNG left. A MacBook Air screen showing a Windows 11 ARM VM struggling with low FPS counter and a CMS 2018 fatal error dialog. Right, a user with a satisfied smile watching CMS 2018 runs smoothly within a Parallels desktop window. Explore VMware Fusion Tech Preview for Windows ARM. Similar to Parallels, VMware Fusion offers a technical preview for running Windows ARM on M-SILICON Macs, providing another robust virtualization option. This alternative can sometimes offer different performance characteristics or compatibility for specific titles. Set up a Windows 11 ARM VM and proceed with Steam and game installation within that environment. Image 7. PNG left. A technical user observing a VMware Fusion Guest OS error dialog on a MacBook, hinting at virtualization issues. Right, a user successfully configuring VMware Fusion to launch a Windows 11 ARM instance with a Steam icon ready. Ensure Mac OS is fully updated. Keeping your Mac OS installation up to date ensures you have the latest performance enhancements, security patches, and critical updates for Rosetta 2 or any underlying system components. Older Mac OS versions might have less optimized M-SILICON support or compatibility layer functionality. Always check for pending updates in system settings. Image 8. PNG left. A user sees a Mac OS software update failed notification on a dark screen. Right, a pristine MacBook screen displays Mac OS Sonoma 14 X up to date with a checkmark. Update the Steam client to the latest version. An outdated Steam client can sometimes cause launch issues, even for games running through compatibility layers. Ensure your Steam client is updated to its latest version, as this can resolve minor compatibility quirks and improve game launching stability. Access Steam settings to check for client updates. Image 9. PNG left. A Steam client window shows a client update required restart Steam message with a frustrated user in the foreground. Right, a clean Steam client interface with the latest version displayed prominently, ready to launch a game. Verify game files' integrity via Steam. Corrupted or missing game files can lead to launch failures, especially when compatibility layers are involved. Utilize Steam's built-in Verify Integrity of Game Files feature to scan and repair any discrepancies within the game's installation. This ensures a clean base for any emulation attempts. Image 10. PNG left. A Steam Verifying Game Files dialog is stuck at 0% with a red error message. Right, a Steam dialog showing all files successfully validated with a green checkmark and a contented user. Disable Steam overlay features. The Steam overlay, while convenient, can sometimes conflict with games, particularly when running through emulation or virtualization. Disable the Steam overlay for Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 within its game properties in your Steam library. This can often prevent unexpected crashes or black screens during launch. Image 11. PNG left. A game launch fails with a Steam overlay error pop-up on a dark game screen. Right, a user unchecking. Enable the Steam overlay while in-game in Steam's game properties. Adjust in-game graphics settings, if accessible. If you manage to get Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 to launch even briefly before crashing, or if you achieve a playable state within a VM/emulator, immediately reduce all graphics settings. Lowering resolution, texture quality, and shadow details can significantly ease the burden on the M-SILICON chip and its emulation layers, improving stability. Image 12. PNG left. A blurry, pixelated in-game screen with a graphics driver error overlay. Check Mac OS security and privacy gatekeeper. Mac OS gatekeeper can sometimes block non-App Store applications or executables from unknown developers, or even those modified by compatibility layers. Navigate to System Settings, Privacy and Security, and ensure that the game's executable or the compatibility layer application isn't being blocked. You might need to grant explicit permissions. Image 13. PNG's left. A Mac OS Alert application game. App cannot be opened because the developer cannot be verified. With a black game window. Right, a user in Mac OS Privacy and Security, successfully clicking Open Anyway for the game's executable. Clear Steam download cache. A corrupted Steam download cache can sometimes interfere with game updates or initial installations, leading to launch failures. Clear the Steam download cache from Steam Settings. Steam Settings downloads Clear Download Cache. This forces Steam to reacquire necessary data, potentially resolving underlying issues. Image 14. PNG left. A Steam error corrupted download cache message interrupts a game launch. Right, a user successfully clicking Clear Download Cache in Steam Settings, with a fresh game download starting. Perform a clean reinstallation of the game. If previous steps fail, a complete reinstallation of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 is recommended. Uninstall the game via Steam, then manually delete any remaining game folders in your Steam library. This ensures all potentially corrupted or misconfigured files from previous attempts are removed, providing a truly clean slate for a fresh installation. Image 15. PNG left. A CMS 2018 uninstallation failed dialog on a dark game screen. Right, a user happily clicking Install on Steam for CMS 2018 after a successful clean uninstallation. Monitor system resources with Activity Monitor. When attempting to launch the game, keep Mac OS's Activity Monitor open, Applications Utilities. Observe CPU, GPU if relevant, and memory usage. If you see the game process spike and then immediately terminate, it indicates a crash. High CPU or memory usage during the black screen phase can also point to a resource bottleneck or an infinite loop during startup. Image 16. PNG left. A MacBook screen with Activity Monitor showing a game process spiking CPU to 100% and then disappearing next to a black game window. Right, Activity Monitor showing stable CPU usage for a running game next to a perfectly functional game window. Check game-specific community and developer forums. Search Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 official forums, Steam community hubs, or developer websites for specific mentions of M-SILICON-COMPATIBILITY. Other users might have discovered unofficial patches, configuration tweaks, or specific settings for compatibility layers that improve stability. These community insights can be invaluable. Image 17. PNG left. A user frustratedly browsing a forum with threads like M-SILICON not working, but no concrete solutions. Right, a user smiling while reading a community fix, M-SILICON guide thread with detailed instructions. Consider cloud gaming services. As a bypass to local hardware incompatibility, explore cloud gaming services like NVIDIA GeForce Now. These platforms stream the game from powerful remote servers directly to your Mac, completely sidestepping the need for local emulation or virtualization. This offers a seamless experience, provided you have a stable and fast internet connection. Image 18. PNG left. A user experiencing severe lag and network disconnect on a cloud gaming service on their Mac. Right, a user playing CMS 2018 flawlessly on their MacBook Air via GeForce Now, with low latency displayed. Run in Compatibility Mode within virtualized Windows. If running CMS 2018 within a Windows 11 ARM virtual machine, navigate to the game's executable, right-click, select Properties. Then the Compatibility tab. Try running the game in Compatibility Mode for an older Windows version, such as Windows 7 or 8. This can sometimes resolve specific runtime issues with older titles in newer operating systems. Image 19. PNG left. A Windows VM error message. CMS 2018 has stopped working next to an unconfigured Compatibility tab. Right. A user in a Windows VM successfully setting Run this program in Compatibility Mode for Windows 7 for the game's executable. We understand the frustration of encountering compatibility issues with beloved titles on new hardware. By systematically applying these advanced technical solutions, focusing on compatibility layers and thorough troubleshooting, you significantly increase your chances of getting Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 to run on your Apple M-Silicon Mac. Don't forget to follow Tenabalta for more in-depth technical guides and solutions. Image 20. PNG left. A black screen with a small red error icon in the corner representing lingering issues. Right. A triumphant Tenabalta logo, gleaming green, signifying resolution and expertise.